Can you open your camera? So if you guys are ready, please tell.
Yes, teacher.
Can we start? So we are Group Phenomena. And today we will be presenting our literature review on the AI ethical issues and bias, which is part of our machine learning module for coursework 3. So our presentation will explore how the different research studies address the challenges of the AI fairness and the bias and accountability and transparency, and also share the insights from the various papers that we reviewed, each focusing on the different sides of the AI ethics, from the policy frameworks to technical bias detection and the data privacy. So I'm Churambin, and with me are Pimia and Soita. So we worked on combining our research into one integrated review that looks at how AI system can be made more fair, transparent, and trustworthy. So the artificial intelligence is now used in almost every important field, like healthcare, recruitment, finance, and education. While the AI brings many benefits, it also introduced a serious ethical challenge. As the AI system start making more decisions that affect the people's lives, issues like bias, fairness, accountability, and privacy have become the major concerns. When the algorithms aren't properly monitored, they can actually reinforce social inequalities instead of reducing them. And when the AI system aren't transparent, it can also reduce the public trust and confidence in the technology. So these are the research papers that I reviewed from our school. So the first paper is the policy advice and the best practice on the bias and fairness in AI. So this paper looked at how ethical frameworks, technical standards, and governance strategies are being used to handle the bias and fairness issue in AI. The author highlighted that as AI gets more involved in the serious decision-making areas like healthcare, recruitment, and even the justice, bias and discrimination have become the key ethical concerns. And their main goals are to first to review the existing studies and policies and on the AI fairness, and the second to recommend the practical best practices that organizations can follow to the AI ethically. So for the key findings and the adjustment, the author found that the AI bias doesn't come from one single cause because it came from imbalanced data bias labeling or even from the algorithm that ignore the context. So they have discussed the three main fairness approaches for the pre-processing, which means the balancing or the cleansing the data before training, and in processing, which adjusts the algorithm during the model training, and post-processing, which corrects the output after the deployment. And even the paper points out that there is no consistent global standard for fairness. Different companies have their own frameworks. For example, the Google Responsibility AI Principle or IEE's ethically aligned design, but they often don't align. This inconsistent because the fairness to be interpreted differently across the organization and cultures. So and the author also argued that fixing the bias shouldn't be left to the engineer alone. Organizationally, accountability and the diverse leadership are just as important. They proposed a multi-level governance model combining the technical safeguards with the transparent reporting and ethical oversight. For the ethical, the paper warns that the bias in the AI can lead to structural discrimination and reduce the public trust. It suggests that the fairness route should be built into the entire AI lifecycle from the data collection and design to monitoring the deployment. And the paper also criticized the ethics washing, where companies talk about the ethical for good PR but don't actually make change. This can hide the deeper social inequalities, especially in the high-risk areas like surveillance or the social welfare. For the limitations, the author admit that their study is conceptual, relying on relying on the secondary sources rather than the experiments. So it also focused on mostly the Western and corporate viewpoints, leaving the perspective from the developing countries. And the paper also offer a strong understanding of how the governance, culture, and the collaboration that the key making the AI truly fair and responsibility. For the paper 2 is the bias asker measuring the bias in the conversation AI system. So this study is much more technical. The others developed the framework called the bias asker to automatically detect the bias in the chatbots and large language models. They built a data set of 841 social groups and over 8,000 biased attributes based on the common stereotypes. Then they asked the different AI system, including the ChatGPT and the GPT-3 question about this group to see if the response show bias. So this approach allowed them to simulate the real conversation and measure whether the AI replies contain the prejudice or discrimination. So the result was surprising around the 32.8% of all the responses show the sum of the bias. Some are small and like tune or word choice, but others are direct or even offensive. The others also argue that this happened because the bias is deeply embedded in the training data and model architecture. They also note that most AI models are closed source, meaning that no one outside the company knows exactly how they work. So for the from an ethical perspective, the biased chatbot can shape how users see the certain social groups and reinforce the stereotypes, sometimes even causing the harm. And the author recommend the independent audit bias transparency reports and stricter the AI regulations similar to how others industry handle the safety standards. The authors admit that the bias occur has its limits. It only works in English, so it doesn't fully reflect the cultural or linguistic diversity. And while it's great at detecting bias, it can't actually fix it. Retraining the models will still be needed. And they suggested the future research should test the multi-grille and multi-modal AI system, including the voice and image-based models, and combine the automated testing with the human judgment. So to summary my papers, so the first paper focused on the policy and governance, showing how the fairness needs strong ethical standards and organizational accountability. And the second focused on the measurement and the bias detection, proving that even advanced the AI systems still carry the human bias in their response. So they show that just solving the AI bias requires the both ethical frameworks and technical testing tools. Fairness in AI isn't only about the fixing algorithm, it's also about the creating a culture of responsibility and transparency and continuous evaluation. So that's all from my part. Thank you.
Sure, I request the control.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Group. Today I'm summarize my review of recent research on the AI ethics and bias focusing on the ethics assess or the fairness or explanation. The AI systems are used in the healthcare, finance, hiring, and justice to predict question guides my review. Do independent others get enough access on uncover risk and bias, and other explanations shown to users equally reliable across groups? Sure, Ben, can you scroll?
Yeah.
There's a little lagging from my side.
Okay. Which one you are going to? The paper one?
Yes, this one. Yes.
Okay.
And I cover the quick introduction to papers group by name, short comparison, and actionable recommendations. This paper is my hard access level shapes out this range. Propose comparables IO-only whiteboards, modern internet, and outside the box data course documents. Findings the board are dismissed risk tied to training data and hidden failure modes. Whitebox enables interpretive and stronger stress tests. Outside the box lets the auditors inspect data set documentation and deployment choice. Etiquette input limited the scope can hide discriminatory behavior and create the fans or safety. The safeguards like sensible things, NDAs, and plugin are needed. Take away access level of this range. Yes, that is people too. Yes, fairness explanation. This paper as if the explanation methods are equally faithful across groups. Propose and measure subgroup connection effectively how well simple explanation match the Blabos model across finance, healthcare, admissions, and justice. Finance, there are significant gaps. Some subgroups get lower quality explanations. One, the predicted accuracy is acceptable. Robust training doesn't eliminate the gaps. Etiquette invest lower explanation undermine procedural fairness. People can effectively conduct decisions. No one size fits all. The others common role line of subgroup reporting and standardized evaluation. Completed discussion. Completed discussion. These people both one accounts check the boss transparency, common ground, the survey levels methods, blood boss audits, generate is AI and bias, different customer target performance and as a policy, Bangulan at target technical evaluation or explanation and fairness. The standard measurement audits artifacts for fairness safely checks the benchmark for subgroup explanation and identity, and safeguards and incentives that enable deeper access without lacking IP. User studies on how the score of explanation gaps and readiness. As a conclusion, in short, limiting audits to iOS receipt and ignoring subgroup explanation validity is NFL. Command is stronger and auditor access with raw line explanation, fairness evaluation reduced, blind spots in high stakes AIs, micro schools, CASPA app, and Lego plan at ET, reporting was on LLM and HAI disparities. Thank you. I'm happy to take questions. That's all my part.
No, I can't control my screen.
Yep, can you control it now? Still can. Oh, I will help you control and you say for scroll down and then scroll down.
Uh, okay. So, okay. Mm, please wait here. I can't go through my sequence.
Oh shit! Sorry, my computer is lagging now.
Okay.
Pretty cool now.
It's not okay.
I think you need, can you take control again? Like retake
Okay,
control
okay,
again.
okay. Uh,
Okay, you can refresh again.
okay. I don't get control. Can so
Okay.
okay. What?
Um, can I help you to control?
Too bad school file.
Lâu mày à?
Too bad school file này đó.
Okay.
Nên là cho lại có xem cho lại.
Today I'm talking about the large language model or LLMS, like ChatGPT. Have revolutionized the artificial intelligence capability, offering the encrypted neutral language processing and generating. However, their rapid adoption raised significant ethical concern, particularly regarding data privacy, training data bias, and transparency. This literature review examines the current research on ethical challenge in LLMs, focusing on privacy violation through data collection, the provision of societal bias through training data. Paper one, data privacy in age of ChatGPT, a comprehensive analysis. This study investigates how user interaction with the LLM store, proceed, and potentially export. The researcher aim to document privacy in current LLM deployment practice. Key finding argument: user conversation with the ChatGPT are stored for training purpose by default. Sensitive information shared in conversation can be incorporated into future model response. The study document 47 instance where private data from early user appear in later model output. Current concern mechanism for information user about data usage, ethical and viral encapsulation. This creates significant privacy risk for users who share personal, professional, or priority information. As I mean, conversation are private. The lack of transparent data handling private violate user trust and other domain. limitation or other view. The study focused primarily on ChatGPT and may not generalize to all LLM. The other advocate for OTB in data collection and clear privacy policy. Paper 2 security in conversational AI system. Research purpose and objective. This paper analyzed security incident involving LLM and identifying system made how conversational AI handles sensitive data. Key finding and argument. The March 2023. ChatGPT back expose user conversation history to stranger. Researchers demonstrate that training data can be extracted through careful prompting, mitigate and financial information shared with LLM remain in system log. Currently, encryption and access control are insufficient for protecting user data. Ethical and viral and complaint, and this prominently affect vulnerable population who might use LLM for sensitive query without understanding the privacy risk, limiting or other view. The study acknowledged the new model have the improved security, but fundamental privacy concerns remain unaddressed in current AI development practice. Comparative discretion across all exam paper suffer consistent theme emerged that regarding LLM ethics, privacy concerns stem from the gate data handling predict and insufficient user consent mechanism. One viral issue originate from training data limitation and lack of transparency. The 2023 ChatGPT data lead the incident. One the barrier document by William and Zhang show how LLM can amplify societal inequality. A significant gap in current research is the lack of the efficiency solution that balance privacy protection with moral performance. Similarly, barrier migration technique remain indicate, particularly for non-Western content. All studies agree that current regulation and framework are insufficient for addressing these challenges at the scale of modern element deployed. Conclusion. The ethical challenge surrounding the large language model require urgent attention from researchers, developers, and policymakers. Privacy concern demand better data handling practice, user consent mechanism, and robust security measure. Pirate issue the necessary transparent training data, documentation, continuous adapting, and improved migration. Technique feature work should focus on deploying a practical framework that protect user privacy while maintaining moral utility and implementing effective barrier reduction strategy that work across the diverse cultural context. That's all from my side. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Thanks for your presentation as well. So actually, I'm expecting to prepare any PPT slides for your presentation. Okay, never mind. Let me ask the questions to the first candidate. Okay, Rubin, based on your research, right, I noticed that the bias as ESCA. So may I know that who is the bias ESCA?
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat the questions?
Okay, so based on your research paper, right, I noticed that you mentioned about the bias ESCA. So who is that?
Bias ESCA. Oh, Bias ESCA is a testing framework that check the AI chatbots or the model show the bias when responding to different social groups. So it was created to make the bias detection measurable and consistent. Think it's
Okay, so that would be verifying our data sets to be eligible or like to be relevant with the scenario. Is it
yeah.
the part one? Okay, great. Okay, thank you. And
Thank
okay,
you.
between based on your research, right? What you have learned from your research paper? So can you give me one knowledge you have learned from your paper?
Sorry, Chair.
You muted.
Yes, can you repeat? Yes,
Okay,
is
so
it lucky on my side?
yeah, you research two papers, right? Based on your research paper and literature review, what you have learned, and can you